We'll call up our UNEP chairs who are having a very intimate meeting down there. So UNEP, I was only with you guys for the first session, and then I peeled off and sat in on health committee per se. And I have to say, I know a lot of us at the beginning were maybe a little confused. A lot of us also knew what was going on, but you couldn't tell who was who. And obviously, it took a couple of minutes to get warmed up, but once it did, you guys acted with authenticity and passion that is very exciting to see amongst middle schoolers, and I hope you all bring that to the upper school. Do you guys have anything to say, or?
No, let's go ahead and just
do awards? All right, we already started off UNEP, so if you want to come.
All right, so just to kind of tell our upper school delegates, or like most of our upper school delegates, what we did in the UNEP committee today. So we discussed the intricacies of maritime pollution and passed not one but two resolutions to solve it. So great job. And so we are going to recognize a few delegates for exemplary work, but everyone in the committee was so engaged and did a fantastic job all around. So our first delegate we're going to recognize is someone who had an exemplary position paper and was very well researched and like a great position paper in general. And this delegate is Brazil. And when you receive an award, you can just come up.
Did you win?
Next we have two honorable mentions. Just so we know where we're going, we have two honorable mentions, an outstanding delegate and best delegate. I'm here to recognize our two honorable mentions. Starting off with this delegate was very clear in the questions that they asked. They've clearly done their research. They clearly paid attention during other delegate speeches and asked concise yet also comprehensive questions that was incredibly admirable. So we're going to go ahead and recognize for one of our honorable mentions the delegation of Kenya. This next delegate spoke many times, I have to say, and this delegate also, even though I only saw them in the first session, clearly made an impact when they spoke. You couldn't help but really focus and listen. Their comments were clear and well researched. I don't know if you guys have anything else to say, but they were wonderful. So our other honorable mention award goes to Iraq.
So our next award is Outstanding Delegate, and this delegate came to committee very well researched, and then they led our second block in passing a resolution that was creative and innovative and shows like great promise for implementation in the real world. This delegate is Argentina.
And finally, our best delegate. This delegate was super well researched, super collaborative, and he
Also really very well versed in flags.
very well versed in flags. This goes to Australia. Thank you so much.
Anyways,
Congratulations to all of you guys are all fantastic.
all right, now we're going to call on our leadership from the Health Committee. Come on.
David.
All right, we had a very eventful committee session. We started off with trying to replace, for those of you, just to give a little context, we were in hell. It was 30 pop culture villains from Star Wars to Dora the Explorer. And we were trying to replace the devil character who had mysteriously left. Our committee very quickly managed to submit 11 people to be the possible next presidents, to which we finally narrowed it down to one who became president. And that was kind of the highest point of cohesion amongst committee. From there, it was kind of a downward spiral of like selfishness and rebellion. We had, I think, a rebellion to the rebellion, and the rebellion to the rebellion that was the rebellion. We passed somewhere between 3 to 7, depending on who's counting directives. We don't quite know. You were all incredible. I was in the back room, and you were all incredible delegates to work with through crisis notes. I saw incredibly well-written ideas, if the handwriting was not, but the ideas were there. And it was a pleasure. The final shootout of rock, paper, scissors, shoot, resulting in the Doom team finally persevering. So congratulations to all delegates involved.
So for our first award, we have the exemplary position paper. We read through a lot of different position papers, and this position paper stood out as having been well-researched, well thought out, and it was also very concise, clear-cut, and to the point, and it did a great job of using connection to the character and their background and certain references to the fiction that they came from. So this award goes to Lord Farquaad. So our next award goes to the honorable mention. This delegate did a great job throughout the entire committee of raising their placard, talking, making sure to get their point across, and was always someone who was on the side of trying to maintain stability within the committee, and rather than join one of the rebels, they stayed loyal to the Doom Committee. This award goes to Bowser. Congrats. Okay, our outstanding delegate award goes to a delegate who, throughout the entire committee, dominated in terms of speech, cross-examination, in trials, and they also were very effective in their own goals in terms of reaching very high positions in power and ended up becoming the president throughout the very vast majority of the committee. So this award goes to the Heathers. And our final Best Delegate Award goes to the delegate who consistently talked, debated, made sure that they did a great job in the back room. They were constantly sending notes. Grace saw them sending amazing ideas, creativity, and overall was the best delegate in the committee, the Master.
That concludes our award ceremony. With that, are there any motions on the floor?
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. All those in favor? All opposed? All right, this motion clearly passes. Thank you, Valerie.